Welcome back, race fans. It's Luke up here in the booth alongside Kevin with Ninth Gear Broadcasting, as always. And tonight we are back at Charlotte this time tonight. Kevin, how are we doing this afternoon?
Doing good, doing good. I'm super excited for this one here tonight. We have 140 laps at Charlotte for race 6, and I know last week was my personal favorite race of the season thus far. See if we can beat it here tonight at Charlotte, one of my favorite tracks personally, where it's about a mile and a half of hard racing. So I'm drafting out here, a lot of tire strategy, and we're going to see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely out here. We're watching some of the guys wrap up their qualifying right now. We're going to go and pull up their times right now. As it stands, it looks like we're going to have a little over, let me see, 35 drivers registered as it stands. We'll see how many make it to the grid here. But as it stands, Sean Merriman is taking the pole tonight.
Yeah, great lap by Sean Merriman sitting at a 29.9 right now. Only got to dip into the 29s at all here tonight, so he has something figured out in his Charlotte Arca machine. But Hunter Rizal and Aiden Stevens bringing up 2-3 with about 2 minutes left to go, including your second place finisher from last week, Kenny McCullough Jr., who's going to throw it into fifth on that lap, sitting at a 30.092. Not
And
sure if
definitely
he has
wasn't
another lap to run.
not looking like it, Kevin. I think he's going to pull off here on the back straightaway. But Blaze Billing out there looking like he's still putting something up right now. Or maybe just pulling off, actually. Looks like he put up a 30.10. It's going to put him in 7th place now after a late qualify there. Matt Morrison puts up a 30.03.
Jumping into third place, knocking Aiden Stevens back.
But we got about a minute and a half left out here. I believe we have, let's see, 3 drivers who are yet to put a qualifying up. Nicholas Warner out there making a run happen right now. He's putting up some time.
And how about Matt Morrison going to the pole position here with a 29.92 to
Now,
beat out Sean Merriman?
now we'll just see how things change out here once the actual race starts. But in the qualifying right now, we're looking at a 72-degree weather outside right now and a 98-degree track temp right now. So we'll see how that changes here in about 30 seconds when the guys wrap up the qualifyings. I don't think anybody else is going to make their way out. So I think it's safe to say we about have our starting bunch right here. Matt Morrison able to take the lead from Sean Merriman, so it's going to be Matt Morrison, Sean Merriman, and Nicholas Warner going to be your top 3 here. But we had 32 drivers out there putting up time, and we had 3 that elected not to. So we'll see if they end up on the grid out here. But that's going to officially wrap up the qualifying. I believe that's going to slowly put us towards the race out here. You can see the sun has began to set. Just taking a look out here, the track has cooled off. So definitely to note out here, the colder this track is, obviously, it's going to give them a lot more grip out here through the exits. So it's going to probably elect for some faster laps out here than we saw in the qualifying, Kevin. But we have our we have our grid together. Do you have it, or do you need me to get it your way?
I got it.
Okay, you want to take it away?
Yeah, how about Matt Morrison on the pole tonight with Sean Merriman on his outside? Your second row is going to be Nicholas Warner and Hunter Rizal. Third row is going to be Aiden Steven and race winner from last week, Jacob Petrosky. Fourth row is going to be Kenny McCullough Jr. and Blaze Billing. Fifth row is going to be Houston Galena and Dawson Price. Kean Fry and Travis Farmer. 12th row is going to be Garrett Hummel and Ty Carino. Chad Strelo and Daryl Johnson. David McCullough and Connor Price. Nolan Gross and Omar Rodriguez. Richard Elliott and Michael Hill. Chris McCullough and Heath Job. Nathan Swafford and John Marina. Justin Semecki and James Hudson. Henry Getch and Danny Barnes, Jaden Knight and Jeremy Osborne, Peyton Bass and Cooper Laardi, and that's going to round out your field.
We got 35 drivers registered, like we said. The guys are still finishing taking the grid out here, so we'll wait for them all to take their spots out here. We got 140 laps out here tonight, Kevin. Like I said, the track has cooled off out here. We got a little 1.5 mile out here. This is one of the longer tracks we've seen throughout the season out here compared to some of the short tracks we've ran earlier. What kind of experience you got out here at Charlotte? What are your thoughts going into this thing?
I got a decent bit of experience. I know it's a multi-groove track, so guys can pass on the outside, guys can pass on the inside. It's very diverse in that sort of idea, but it's also a lot of tire saving out here. And with 140 laps, I can already imagine these guys are thinking about what different strategies they can run to give themselves an edge. We saw last week, for instance, Jacob Petrosky saved himself a set of tires with just a handful of laps to go and was able to put it to use and get the win out here. So I know strategy is in the back of these guys' minds, despite it being a 1.5-mile track.
Absolutely, and we see them making their way down the back straightaway here. Getting ready to get this thing going out here for the first time tonight. Matt Morrison going to have his first jump out here. Getting ready to kick this thing off out here. Getting ready to go green out here for the first time tonight on the historic track. Pace car is making its way in, and Matt Morrison is going to have his jump off the start out here. Green flag, we are racing, baby, for the first time tonight. And we're already hearing a crash. We're already hearing a crash near the back, I believe. Yep, Jaden Knight, where there's already an incident off the front right now. Jaden Knight's involved in that. And we're already under yellow before we can even barely get green. We're going to go back and take a look at that one here. I know that happened right off the start. And we know Jaden Knight was involved here, so we're going to go and watch the overhead of Jaden Knight. Oh. You know, we'll go back and watch that maybe from a further cam here, maybe. The checkup happens in front of him. He comes up kind of hot, slams on his brakes, locks up. 7 comes up behind him, locks up his brakes. The 3 doesn't really check up well at all.
Quite the accordion to get things going. Look, I know these guys are excited out here, but with 140 laps to go, that was a quick caution.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't even think we were green for... Shoot, let's see. About 4 seconds. But, you know, green for about 4 seconds. We don't see any, no meatballs, nothing like that, so...
Devin, that is where you would be mistaken. I think we made it about 11 hours and 15 minutes, maybe. And a lot of that was sitting in the pits, so... I think a little bit less than that 11.5-hour mark.
Referring to our Daytona 24-hour race, or, well, 11-hour race, I see.
Yep.
We had a lot of fun with it, at least. Like to think we have at least some experience on that now if we ever have to broadcast that, right?
I don't know if I'd be up for that, if being honest.
Nah, me neither. Me neither.
Don't get any ideas, you know? Please.
It paid the right price, though. You never know.
Reading, we saw Justin Zemecki, Danny Barnes, Omar Rodriguez all come into the pits and are out.
Well, maybe just a little nervous start here to get this thing underway. I mean, it happens out here. It happens. But I think the guys are going to be able to get this thing back together smoothly and get to running this thing normal out here. I'll be honest with you, though. I do see about 5 black flags issued right now. One for John Marino, one for Justin Zemecki, Jaden Knight, Danny Barnes, and I believe Nicholas Warner right now. I don't know if that's just something for me, but that's what I'm reading right
Yeah, I think Jaden Knight's was a pit exit issue. I saw his come in kind of late. Getting a word on that now.
Yeah, you're one funny guy, Stroop. You're one funny guy.
And I'm hearing black flags are going to be cleared by race control just because a lot of them were given just due to it being a mess on the restart.
I gotcha.
Pace car is in, and we're going to be going green for the second time here with Matt Morrison in command. A good jump, and we are back to racing.
Green, green, green. Here we go. And a good jump for Matt Morrison. Off the start out here, and as it seems on the race control that we can see right now, I'm not seeing any incidents, and it looks like we are underway out here. Green as can be.
Yeah, and a great restart for the 74 of Aiden Stevens. He was able to get around Sean Merriman and make himself single file for second out here.
A little bit of a flying V action out here right now. They're starting to kind of break away from the group behind them right now, that front 6. I mean, Matt Morrison, Aiden Stevens, Hunter Azell. I believe that is also Sean Merriman, Jacob Petrowski, and Kenny McCullough all in that front bunch. They're filing back to 2 wide now. They're all kind of getting bunched up trying to make passes, and it's going to maybe leave a little bit of a window of opportunity for the guys behind them. Oh, something going on in the back here. We see one going low, below the line, holding it together. And everybody seems to hold things together. No caution given. Gotta assume that was maybe just getting loose out of the turn.
Yeah, Luke, I'm reading Garrett Hummel now with the quickest lap of the session, running a 29.52, about half a second quicker than we saw in qualifying, even by the front runners out here. Yep. So not only is that cooler track helping him out, but I imagine a little bit of draft is helping him out as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Quick lap times out here.
Absolutely, Kevin, absolutely. And we're seeing a lot of action here near the back of the pack, in the middle of the pack right now. We're currently looking at around P13, I believe. Front bunch all remaining pretty much the same, to be completely honest. That front 6 all still staying pretty similar.
Yeah, but Jacob Petrosky now has made himself up into that second position, fighting the 18.
Too wide now. For the second
Very
place
tight.
position, very tight early on, and they almost touched there coming out of the exit. You know, I gotta say, Kevin, these cars are fast. I'm seeing some of these guys run just shy of 190, if not pushing into 190 out here. They are really pushing these cars. Puppies are pushing just about 700 horsepower, I'm pretty sure. I think they got the 396 spec engine in them. They don't make the crazy...
Petrosky
Sorry,
to
go
the
ahead.
lead here. He has been putting up very quick laps out here, Luke.
Absolutely. I was just gonna say these cars aren't, you know, they aren't as crazy fast like the older cars we've seen back in like the 80s and the 90s, but they're still sitting at that pretty high horsepower, but still manageable on the turns here, still making tolerable on these exits. It allows them to put up some pretty good laps here, especially with the cooler temperature and the draft. We're seeing a bit of a run on the outside here, I believe, by Morrison and Hunter Azell.
Yeah, and that front four has really kind of broken apart here by about a second now. It's interesting to see if Kenny McCullough, Dawson Price, Connor Price and company is going to be able to catch them. 14 laps in here, one caution deep.
Oh, and we are reading that Garrett Hummel went off track, and we're seeing two off track. Two off track. Still green, a bit of a risky rejoin there.
Flag and a lot of damage. I don't know if we can go back and watch Blaze Billing, but...
Oh, and we still see smoke across the front stretch. Two across the grass.
And there's the caution.
David McCullough, and that's going to bring out the caution, finally. Man, I read a lot off track there. Blaze Billing went in the pit lane. Nathan Swafford was one that went off track as well, but we have our first meatball tonight, Kevin. We're going to have to go back and take a look at this.
Yeah, Blaze Billing took a lot of damage to that outside wall.
Yeah, let's go back and take a look here at Blaze Billing. We know it happened and involved him somewhere here. But, yeah, his night ends early here. We'll go ahead and take a look at his onboard.
Able to safely get down and into pit lane, but...
Let's go back and see if we can take a look here at what actually happened here going into the back stretch. So we know he's there on that inside line. He's the 33. Oh, I believe he thinks he's clear over that 78. Yep, but he was not.
He was not, and that's that front right damage that we know this ARCA car does not like to take.
No, it does not. Gets the 78 of Garrett Hummel loose. And he gets pretty sideways here, Kevin, I can't lie. But he does a damn good job at holding it together. Through the grass, does a pretty nice drift there, and avoids some very minimal damage there on his left side. And he had a bit of a risky rejoin there at the end, I'll be honest, but, you know, he kept it together there, and that was a good save by him, but we have even more to break down there, because at the end, Nathan Swafford went off track and I believe was in the grass. Ooh. Well, that was a little later after that. The 5 getting involved there of Nathan Swafford getting involved with someone else. Who is that? That is the 67, getting involved with Henry Gench. Kind of tough to call there. They come together, I believe, after the caution was issued, but who else went off track there? Who was that? Houston Galena, I believe. Let me look. He's one of them.
And while we're under caution, I'd just like to say a huge thanks to Skid Row Motorsports for coming on board with us for tonight's broadcast.
Absolutely. Ooh. Got some contact over the tri-oval. Bit of a 3-wide situation. Temp there, and I believe that resulted in a couple. Man. Definitely a lot of damage this caution, Kevin. Definitely. We got our first meatball of the night. Now we are down to 34 drivers.
Oh!
Oh, man, and the 90...
The 99 goes around. That's going to be Kian Fry.
Well, he tries to rejoin there. Let's go back and see what happened there. Oh, and the 8 gets back up into his bumper and just... Whoa.
Maybe...
I think Daryl Johnson might add a stuck throttle pedal or something.
Yeah, I was going to say some sort of
looked like he literally just drove through him. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Either way, we are getting ready. No, we're gonna pace around out here for our second caution now. After that, I believe. But it's gonna be a quick one. They're gonna go and pull it back off right after that, and we're gonna lights off the pace car. We're going green this time around. That was an interesting one, Kevin. It really was. Daryl Johnson, I would have to assume a stuck throttle or something, just by the looks of it, but we know that involved quite a few drivers in that front bunch, unfortunately. At least that front four on the right side. All the drivers are moving around. Way to check SOF, Kevin? Is that a thing? Maybe we can check that.
I think so. Trying to see if it's on my end.
So I'm sure we figured out some way here.
Regardless, pace car is in. It's going to be Jacob Petrosky on the restart here. Green flag, green flag.
We are underway once again. Jacob Petrosky with a good jump. And he's going to be clear over Hunter Zell here all the way around. See the 29 of Nicholas Warner on your map up there, kind of trailing behind the lead bunch right now.
And how about Hunter Zell now taking a look to the outside for the lead here. Deciding to try and make it too wide. Not going to get the run on the outside to pass out back in. He's not done trying, as Jacob Petrosky is going to give him that outside and sort of just defend the bottom line.
But he's going to go for it once again, getting up here on his door. Side by side, getting ready to go into turn 1 out here for the lead. Hunter Azell and Jacob Petrosky. Still fighting hard for it, but someone that's also fighting pretty hard for it sitting out the back is Sean Merriman right now, looking off his bumper. He's sitting looking in 3rd place. Still very early into this thing right now. Ooh, the 19 almost getting a little loose there.
Yeah, very close there. Very good recovery for the 19 because we saw that front end start swirling around.
You know, the track is cool, Kevin, but at the same time, these cars, I will say, with them being as fast as they are, you do expect a lot of wear on these tires pretty fast. From what I've heard, there is a big fall off on these tires after about 10 to 15 laps. Meaning, you know, once you hit that 10 to 15 lap marker, you really start to feel it. And I mean, after you account all these, the pace laps we've had and stuff like that, we're definitely getting to that point where they're going to start to feel them pretty good here soon. So maybe getting to that point there for the 19.
Yeah, and I think Hunter Azell kind of realized that he was starting to risk it, starting to burn up his stuff a little bit. He's going to fall off back to P3, P4 area, kind of just ride. He's got the fastest lap of the evening, so there's no doubt that he has the pace out here. And with about 115 to go.
Kevin, we got smoke across the infield right now. We got 2 drivers involved, and Kenny McCullough's one of them. I'm reading Kenny McCullough and Jeremy Osborne, the 2 involved at the moment. But as it stands, we're still racing right now. Green flag. Keep an eye on what's going on in the race right now, Kevin. I'm going to take us back and take a look at what happened on the broadcast. We're looking at a 3-wide scenario. Oh, man.
Ooh, a hard hit.
Yeah, definitely a hard hit there. Unfortunate, the 2 getting across the infield, but both out there still remain racing right now. I'm not seeing any additional meatballs. Oh my God! Jacob Petrosky hard up into the wall on the exit of turn 2, and that's going to bring us to our 3rd caution. And oh man, Kevin, I see 3 meatballs now on the field total now. We got 2 more that are out of this race, and it's Omar Rodriguez and Jacob Petrosky. Goodness, and Jacob Petrosky able to cart the wrecked vehicle off as we're going to go back and take a look at what happened here to lead up to that. Man, that was
and in the matter of about 10 seconds, your winner and 2nd place finisher from last week, both with very heavy damage. In separate incidents, mind you.
Absolutely.
I'm reading a wheel issue for Jacob Petrosky.
Yeah, what? Oh, no. Oh, no way. Don't tell me. We're going to go back and look at his in-car here to take a look at this, but I think I see what happened. I think his wheel got locked all the way to the left for no reason. It happened, like, right here. Yep.
Ooh, the right.
Oh no, it got insta-locked all the way to the left, and it locked the wheel up completely, and it just took him straight up to the wall.
Okay.
And unfortunately, Omar Rodriguez didn't see him. Unable to check up in time, and that completely knocked Jacob Petrosky's wheel bearings loose entirely. And additionally, also got a meatball flag for Omar Rodriguez as well. And unfortunate, Kevin, as that is now going to lead to our 3rd caution of the night. And the end to a couple more drivers' races out here.
Yeah, absolutely. And just definitely some heavy hitters getting taken out early here. We saw Omar running decent. We saw Jacob Petrosky running around in the lead. We know Kenny McCullough had a top 7 qualify, so a lot of good drivers out here with damage early, and a lot of it is night ending.
Yeah, absolutely, and very unfortunate there. I see a lot of the drivers making their way out. Kenny McCullough's still in there trying to patch up some damage. Light is still on the pace car out here, so they got some time to make it up here as it's going to go through turns 3 and 4. You know, thinning the herd, as they should say out here, Kevin. It happens at a race like this and at a track like this. It's bound to happen out here when they force them 3 wide, you know, a little bit of contact here, and it spill over into something that happens across the infield.
And, you know, if they can get the damage cleared up, I'd say this caution and this incident was the best case scenario for Kenny McCullough and Jeremy Osborne.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Because
I'd have to agree.
they had gotten in that incident, and unfortunately for them, it had stayed green, and they were at risk of going down multiple laps, I'd say. But, you know, fortunately, they're sitting on the lead lap still.
I gotta say, it's looking beautiful out there today, Kevin. The sun's starting to set. The day is beginning to tick away out here at this session. Lights off the pace car, and the guys are gonna try to scrub them tires a little bit through the back stretch and get them warm. Get any bit of warmth in them tires as they can. We got 2 more turns, and we're going to get this thing underway once again. You know, I got to say, I'm very intrigued. I thought I saw a meatball for Omar Rodriguez. He is only issued a black flag now, as far as I can see, and he is making his way back out to try to catch the group.
Fortunate for him. On the flip side of that, I have read that Jacob Petrosky has disconnected.
Yep, he's got the
maybe
meatball.
Too much damage.
Yeah, he definitely got the meatball. I still see it. Either way, green, we're racing once again. And Sean Merriman with the jump. You know, it's all about these early moves and these things out here.
Caution
already
out.
Under caution.
Oh. And I am hearing right away, Luke, that we have gotten our first of the season RC Fatfinger.
Oh, no way.
and you know what? I'll be the first to say it happens.
Yeah, that it does, Kevin. That it does. And I'm assuming they're going to probably advance it to a 1 to go kind of thing here and make it quick.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see that.
Fortunate to know that nobody was actually involved in that, and it's one we can act like it wasn't even there.
And maybe, you know, if you're lucky, the 92 car here might be getting a lucky dog.
Yeah, he just
I know he's in contention for it, being the only car a lap down. I don't know if the expediting it to 1 to go kind of changes that. Or how that works.
That I don't know. We'll have to wait and see out here. Regardless, your leader, Sean Merriman, has caught the pace car. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and cart around the whole time. We're going to... It was a debris caution. I like that. Yeah, there was too much debris on the track, and we had they had to pace around so we could get the parts of Jacob Petrosky's car off the track.
Yeah, and I'm reading Nicholas Warner, Kenneth McCullough, Connor Price, and Omar Rodriguez all going into the pits here, making the most of it and clearing up some damage.
Yeah, not surprised at all, taking the time to get some extra damage cleared up. Definitely what they wanted to see out here, but I don't know if... I'm assuming that that's going to probably mean Omar is not going to get the lucky dog.
Yeah, I'll try to get you a word on that. I'm not sure what that means, or if he even was given it.
Light is off the pace car. We're going to be getting ready to go green here out of this exit of 4. You know, Kevin, we're getting to that point in the race here, I think, on our next caution here, if we even see one. We're going to try to pull in a driver interview out here and see what we can Guess maybe get some insight from some of these drivers, but we'll have to wait for that as the pace car is in and we're getting ready to get this thing underway again. Green racing once again, and Sean Merriman once again with the good jump. Going through turns 1 and 2. A lot of these guys gonna probably start to be feeling these tires, like I said, very soon, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah, you want to go on board with somebody out here?
Yeah, who are you thinking?
How about Kian Fry just hopped into the top 10 here, fighting for position out here with Heath Job and the 4-car of Chad Strelo.
He's sitting comfortably in P11 right now. New little addition we got going right now, the driver cam. I know some older fans of the channel, maybe back to our CMS days, might recognize it. Drivers, if you're watching this back and you want to get yourself featured in this, go ahead and take a look at the Discord to figure out how to set that up. I believe Kevin put something out there in the announcements. It looks like Omar Rodriguez is going to be making his way down into the pit entrance.
On Merriman still leading this thing with Christopher McCullough now in P2.
You know, he's
4-car.
Oof, man, and we got some tight fighting right now up in the front right now.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe even a little bit of blinking. I wasn't able to catch who it was, but
just a little bit, I
saw
think.
the corner of my eye. Somebody may be having some internet issues. How about Dawson Price putting the pressure on in P3, sitting at the top of the board right now on driver standings. He's looking to continue his season success.
Yeah,
So he's going to go for the left rear of Christopher McCullough.
Unfortunately, the guy in second place right now, the guy that's... Shit! We're wrecking hard through the exit of turn 4. Oh, man. And I believe that was Daryl Johnson involved with that, as he is now being issued a meatball flag, Kevin.
Yeah, Daryl Johnson definitely involved. I think we saw Hunter Azell involved towards the beginning of that.
Oh, man. The 19, I believe, getting into him. Let's go back and take a look a little further. You know, it's one of those things, you be the judge here, Sorry to interrupt here, I just heard that... I was reading that Kenny just crashed, so... Oh, man. A little bit of wrecking under pacing right now, and... You know, it's unfortunate looking at that back, Daryl Johnson getting involved back there in that. He was up in front and 19 behind him. It's up to you to kind of decide how you choose to view that. He didn't check up or race incident, however you choose to chalk that up in your own mind there. It's an unfortunate end of the night for yet another driver out here, and it's the number 8 of Daryl Johnson. He's going to go into the pit stall.
Yeah, and I'm reading a good chunk of these guys coming into the pits, whether it be for tires, fuel, or damage. I hear Christopher McCullough, Hunter Azell, Richard Elliott, Daryl Johnson, Travis Farmer, Connor Price, Nathan Swafford, and Nicholas Warner.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt throwing on a set of tires, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah. Just getting a look here. They've got 4 sets on the evening, so, you know, just trying to split that up into, I want to say 35 laps would kind of be the average to make it on each set, and it's sitting at 39 right now. No surprise that some of the guys are coming in and taking that first set.
Yeah, definitely not surprised at all, Kevin. And so far, it's looking like a good night at the moment for Sean Merriman right now as he stands in the front. We talked about it last time. How you feel about an interview? You know what? Actually, lights off the pace car. We'll do it next. We'll do it next
Yeah,
caution if we see one.
We'll get one in next
caution. We'll bring someone in here. We'll bring someone in here. Got a little late to it, unfortunately. But I believe, customary to the rest of the series, anybody who's familiar here with it, but just for anybody who's not out here, if we see enough cautions out here, the officials switch it to a single file restart, and I believe that is what we are going to see out here. Just to hopefully retain any further incidents from going on out here. We're going to get ready to get this thing underway once again, as we are officially 100 laps to go in this thing. This time right now. And Kevin, by popular request, we are getting a current request to put up an over-under on the cautions. You want to set the line tonight? What are you feeling?
Yeah, we're sitting at 5. We had that accidental caution, so I'd say 4 legit ones. We'll call it 5 though, just for the sake of it.
I'll let you chalk up those numbers out here. We're getting ready to go green out here, and we'll get that over-under here up shortly, but we're going to have to go green here once again. And green, once again, racing and Sean Merriman with another good jump. But currently reading with 2 cars off track, Kevin, and we are immediately under caution once again. I'm reading at least 3 or 4 vehicles involved right now. 2 off track at least the minute we went green. And I know Kenny McCullough was at the end of it, but now we are on our 6th caution as Kevin gets our pole up. The over-under is 13.5 is our line. Let's see what happened on that restart up here. It's another case of an accordion effect on the restart. Man, you see a lot of drivers stack up there. And the 78 takes some heavy damage there. That's Garrett Hummel. Missing his front and rear bumper. And definitely unfortunate for him, but he does not have a meatball. He is doing just fine. He is still in this thing. But I gotta say the guys up in the front gotta be still sitting pretty. They're not really expending these tires much, so they're probably still feeling pretty good out here. Pacing around here once again, Kevin. You want to bring someone in?
Sure, let's talk to, if I can get a hold of him, our leader. Do a lot of these laps, Sean Merriman. I'm looking for him.
To be honest with you, Kevin, I don't see him, unfortunately.
Yeah, I was Kind of thinking the same thing. Um, we got Hunter Rizzo.
He's currently sitting in the pits. It's off the pace car. We're going to be going green this time.
Well, save it for next time.
We'll say it once again. We'll save it for next time. We're
Well,
gonna go.
I was gonna get Hunter in here and see kind of what the damage report was on that, because he still has the fastest lap on the evening. We saw that come within the first 5 laps of the race.
Yeah, that we did.
I'm not sure if, you know, he has any damage from that incident. Obviously some, because he was sitting in the pits, but you know, the damage model on these cars are very interesting. And I wouldn't be surprised to see someone kind of just be able to repair half of it and tank the rest of it.
They're definitely odd. I mean, it all depends on where the damage is, in my opinion. I mean, if you get it in the bad spots, it can completely ruin your aero, but you can take a pretty good beating on the side, and it'll still have quite enough speed.
We're going to do a single file restart here. Pace car is in. It's going to be Sean Merriman on the restart here with a 54 of Dawson Price on his bumper. Green, green, green is the call. And we are racing out here once again.
That we are, Kevin, and
ooh, I'm reading a lot of black flags.
Yeah, me too. Seeing a lot of 3 wide right now. Ooh, a lot of drivers making their moves early off of this restart, Kevin. I'm reading a lot of off tracks, but I believe all the black flags were cleared. But as it stands, I feel like I've been saying it most of the night out here. Another good restart for Sean Merriman in his Ford Mustang.
Yeah, we see, I know we had that single file restart, but we see this pack get spread out a lot quicker this time around. I think it's a mix here of the restart, as well as these guys kind of playing a little bit more conservative, knowing we're 6 cautions deep already.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're starting to kind of get a feel for this thing and getting it into their head that we got to kind of slow it up a little bit here and take it easy. Still got a lot of racing left to do. We got just a little over 90 laps out here, 93 to be exact. Reading Justin Zemecki making his way into pits.
Yeah, just for reference, we had 3 personal bests on that lap, so, you know, the pace is not slowing down by any means out here. Guys are still putting up the fastest laps they can, as well as the track kind of cooling down, making that easier. I'm seeing, you know, we saw multiple guys take tires on that last caution, so nothing too surprising. How about Omar Rodriguez able to get fastest lap overall, which I think is very impressive, being that he had to repair damage for multiple laps out here tonight already.
Yeah, I agree, Kevin. That's definitely an impressive feat out there. It's good to hear he's driving straight again. I'm not too sure what. I'm assuming it was probably just a software issue on our end here. Seeing his meatball flag earlier, but currently looking on board of Dawson Price right now. He's trying to make a run for first place. He's been hunting down the tailpipe of Sean Merriman the last couple restarts and paces. Just been watching him out here the last couple laps. He's definitely been opting to run that high line. to save and let those tires breathe a little bit.
Yeah, and Aiden Stevens now looking to his inside. Getting pushed around by the 6 car. Matt Morrison. Aiden Stevens is not going to stop at Dawson Price. He wants to try and get that left rear of the 18 of Sean Merriman and take control of this thing, but just not going to have the speed quite yet.
They are peaking at 3 wide for the lead out here, Kevin, going out of the exit, but I believe Sean Merriman's going to choose to go to that high line. Yes, he does. It's definitely where the speed is, but the 74 getting a lot of side turns.
Yeah, it was a good cover there. Sean Merriman able to get some pushes from Dawson Price and get a lot of speed down the backstretch.
And looking off the bumper of your leader right now, you see Dawson Price ever so closer through these turns. So he's currently peaking at the inside going out of the exit, but he doesn't quite have it. And I do believe we're going to probably, if not already, see the light fixtures start to kick on here. Kevin, the sun is going to be almost completely set out here, and I do believe it's going to kick over to a night race out here. Remain pretty similar. I'm changing by a few degrees. And now Sean Merriman making his first pass. Some lap traffic. It's the 67 of Henry Gench. He's currently sitting in 28th place and is now going to go a second lap down. We see somebody getting up into the wall there out of the exit of 2. I believe that was the 13 of David McCullough. His Toyota Camry. Door to door, the number 2 and the number 4 back there. That's James Hudson and Chad Strelo. They're having a pretty tight battle right now, and they come together going into turn 1 as they get ready to make a pass on the lap traffic as well. You know, it's a dangerous part of this race, and especially on this track, Kevin. It's dangerous passing these lap cars.
Yeah, absolutely. Goes for any track, but I'd say when the racing is as intense as it is out here right now, it's hard as ever to try to get by yet another car.
Absolutely, and the lap car doing his best to try to stay out of everybody's way from what we've seen so far, just electing to hold that high line. Hold that low line we saw a couple times.
Yeah, the 78 of Garrett Hummel is going to be the next call here as they're catching him quickly, as I don't really see a front bumper on him.
Or a rear bumper, for that fact, Kevin. I'm looking up off the nose of Sean Merriman, and we are seeing straight through his car into the rear seat panels. And he has definitely sustained some heavy damage, but still retaining some decent speed out here on the track, and not issued a meatball flag, so good on him for keeping this thing rolling. I think we're going to really have to see some fighting out here to see a lead change. How about that fight for second place now? Dawson Price and Matt Morrison. They're door to door off the tailpipes of Sean Merriman. How about Aiden Stevenson's looking at the middle? Matt Morrison looking at the inside. He's going to almost have it going down the back straightaway.
Yeah, and I think at this point Matt Morrison would be very content to just get his nose in there on the left rear of Sean Merriman and disrupt his line. But right now the 18 car doing a great job to hold it strong.
And, you know, he's putting up the most consistent laps out here, putting up a 30-39 right now. But as it stands, Matt Morrison having the nose on the inside, he's going to have it going down the back straightaway into turn 3. Sean Merriman runs it high. His right rear scrapes the wall a little bit, but he still holds a lot of speed on that high line. We are seeing a good battle right now here for first place. Currently reading an off track and a meatball flag for David McCullough, though. What in the world happened here? Oh, man. And a night ender for David McCullough there. But still racing out here. We're still going. And the lead remains to Sean Merriman. Now the battle for second place begins. Matt Morrison and Dawson Price. Heath Job going to opt to make his way into pit road. Oh! And coming down to pit is your leaders. Sean Merriman and Dawson Price are going to both make their way down. I'll be honest, I got a little worried. I thought they were wrecking out there for a second, and that is a pretty scary entrance, if I'm being completely honest. But now that leaves Matt Morrison as your race leader, as the rest of the leaders are going to make their way down. Matt Morrison, Aiden Stevens, and Nolan Gross making their way through. James Hudson going to join them. Christopher Hudson now makes him your race leader, as we're seeing the pit cycles begin and make their way happen. I know the tire wear has got to be felt by most of these drivers by now. Still relatively early into this thing in terms of fuel. We're not yet at that halfway point.
Yeah, and I'd like to point out Sean Merriman 6/10 faster on pit road than second place driver Dawson Price, so maybe paying his pit crew a little bit more.
Maybe, and we're seeing a 3 wide scenario going into turn 3 right now with Sean Merriman. 5 is going to back out of it, though. Mike Hill making his way into the pits. He's in P12 at the moment. You're sitting at 11 who have not pit yet, Kevin. Or I believe 11 who have not pit yet.
Yeah, we did see a good bunch of guys come in on, I want to say, mid-40s on a caution.
Sounds about right. We read an off track for Ty Carino here. I imagine it was just over the tri-ovals. He looks perfectly fine, still up in 6th. We see action all over the track right now. A lot of two-wide racing, a lot of passing. A lot of guys on fresh tires and a lot of guys not on the freshest set of tires, if I'm being completely honest. See your top 7 right now all together. Number 4 making his way out of the pits. Oh. Getting up into there, the wall is the 62. He's going to be off speed. Let's try Carino.
Yeah, and unrelated here, Luke, but I'm reading Henry Ginch out of his car and done for the evening.
Oh,
Try to get more info on that.
This is an odd one. See a wide mix and a wide variety of pit strategy out here, Kevin. Just looking at the battle box down here. A lot of two-wide racing, a lot of passing going on right now. You see these guys coming out of the pits being a lot faster than these guys that have been out there long. You know, it goes to show how much different, how big of a difference these tires
can. Yeah, absolutely. On the flip side of that, though, I'm honestly surprised with how well the pace is being held by Chris McCullough, Kenny McCullough, Travis Farmer, guys like that. I'm reading last lap for them about 30.6, 30.7s. And then you look at Sean Merriman, and he's putting up 30.1s, so about half a second difference out here.
27, making his way around the leader to try to fight for a position back. Or a lap back, I should say. It's the 27 of Mike Hill.
And crossing that halfway point now, we are on the latter half of this race, and the sun is continuing to set, if I'm not mistaken. I suppose I haven't really been paying attention too much, but it does look a little bit darker.
Yeah, I think it's about set. The light fixtures are on.
Christopher McCullough still trying to see how long he can run this thing out here. Decent laps still. Sean Merriman and Matt Morrison, though, haven't switched positions at all with each other. As they're kind of just riding as of right now. A couple tenths a lap faster than everyone else in front of them. Looking at our poll here, 75% of the chat thought the over was looking good. And to answer your question in the chat, track temp is 79 degrees, so about 20 degrees cooler than it was during qualifying. The overall temp.
Currently looking at 29 or 79 degrees, so it's honestly been
I just
climbing
answered
a little
that.
bit. Sorry. Didn't hear you. Was refilling the old water, but it's kind of been climbing a little bit out here as we've progressed throughout this thing, if I'm being completely honest. What was the results on our over-under poll, Kevin?
About 75% over so far. I'm still thinking it's looking decent for the under, honestly.
I was gonna say, these guys have given me, I got a lot of faith in the guys right now, to be honest. Clean so far, we're watching the front bunch right now. That is your lead top 5. Apart from first place, that is Christopher McCullough still leading by quite a bit. Just taking a look here. He last pit on lap 8.
Yeah, and we're seeing right now Sean Merriman getting his lap back from Christopher McCullough, so visibly quicker than he is.
And it's just through that grip on the turns, Kevin. I mean, he just has so much more grip on the exit. Those fresh tires.
Yeah.
But having to compete around a lot of lap traffic and in a long green flag stint such as this, I mean, it really starts to become a factor out here. Just looking up there at the track map and through it, just looking how spread out these drivers are.
Absolutely. And
a little blinking for your leader of Christopher McCullough.
And we're seeing now the 29 Nicholas Warner, who was sitting in P5, coming into pit. So maybe that second group of guys that plan to stay out long, starting to come into the pits.
And it's interesting to see how all of these different pit strategies shape up, and we're going to see which one works out the best out here when we get this thing towards the end, but it really all comes down to how long this green flag stint stays for. If it stays out here, it's going to make it pretty beneficial to some, but not all. But the stands, I'm seeing a lot of blinking. That's just me, but seeing a bit. Retaining that pretty similar lead around like a quarter right now. Only 9 cars remain on the lead lap as it stands, but I'll just keep in mind a lot of these drivers I believe everybody is still going to probably have to pit one more time before this thing's over, but there might be a few out here that can run to the end, who knows. But getting read that Nathan Swafford making his way in, getting a little squirrely on this entrance. And unfortunately, I'm getting read that he has a black flag, Kevin. I'm assuming that's either unsafe entry or speeding at pit entrance. Unfortunate for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm reading Kenny McCullough now coming into the pits. He was sitting P4, running the long strategy.
And he's making his way in, and you can really get a good sight there now. You can see the light fixtures have kicked on out here. Kenny making his way into the pits right now. He's sitting in P7 right now through the pit cycle.
And the leader now of Christopher McCullough coming in.
Yep, he's following in with Kenny, and so is Richard Elliott.
Yeah, and that's going to leave Travis Farmer out here to lead this thing.
And he's sitting behind some lap traffic right now. He's trying to probably make his way around them to make up some time, but I believe they are probably sitting on some pressure tires. Just looking at when they all last pit out here. Travis Farmer last pit on lap 38. So yeah, he's definitely running on the most worn tires, or just in terms of the drivers around him. Everybody that made their way in now making their way back out of the pits. Currently sitting with 8 drivers on the grid. Nathan Swafford making his way out after having to come in and serve that black flag as well, unfortunately.
Oh, and Houston Galena with a rough entrance. I don't know if we could go back and watch that, the 20 car, Luke. But I'm seeing issues next to the tire barriers for Houston Galena. I think it was trying to make it to pit road.
Oh no. And yeah, just a case of turning the wheel and the car wouldn't turn enough kind of thing.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, yeah, but gonna make their way into the pit and, you know, retain the pit without any black flag though, which is pretty beneficial. And as it stands right now, Travis Farmer unfortunately just getting boxed up by all these lap cars. And here he comes making his way in. Travis Farmer, your current race leader, making his way into the pits, and it's going to leave the window of opportunity for Ty Carino, but he's going to make his way down as well. And I believe we are seeing the vast majority of these pits start to cycle through now, Kevin. They're definitely pushing the limits of these cars. Hunter Rizal going to be your race leader, but now going to make his way into the pits as well. And now how about Sean Merriman making his way back up to the front of this thing, Kevin? He is going to be your race leader.
Yeah, and I imagine if you're Sean Merriman, it feels good to be back here. Back in control. And honestly, he's gained a good bit of distance between him and Matt Morrison.
Absolutely, he is. And
2.5 seconds.
I imagine he's going to try to just run away with it here for these last 40 laps, if possible. But that all comes down to the green flag stint. We've seen quite a few incidents / off tracks here in the last handful of laps, so we know that.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, I was just going to say the cold tires are starting to really show themselves here, and see what they can do out here to combat that.
Yeah, and I think the story I'd want to watch now for the remainder of this race would be Sean Merriman versus Christopher McCullough, because Christopher McCullough did not lose too much time on the lead group of guys by staying out long, but now he has a lot fresher of tires, a lot fresher of a car, and he's already putting up much faster lap times than the leaders, just trying to claw back up towards the lead.
And that he is. Yeah, and putting up some damn good times. 29.83 there, his last lap. He's definitely moving out here. here, trying to make his way around these guys.
Yeah, with 41 laps to go, I'd say it's definitely a possibility for him, but obviously I'd say it's going to be a matter of seeing how fast he can get around the cars in between the two of them. You know, Nolan Gross, Aiden Stevens, Dawson Price, Matt Morrison, all don't want to give a position up.
Yeah, of course not, and who would? But as it stands right now, I mean, it kind of leaves the window of opportunity here. As long as he can just hold on to that position mark that he's at right now, it leaves a very good point position wise here for Kenny McCullough. He's sitting comfortably in second place on the point standings after our last race at Dover right now, just behind Dawson Price out here. You know, but Dawson Price has quite the lead. He's at 184, so Kenny's looking to get any more positions he can out here and pick this up for this thing. A little bit of wall contact there, I believe, for the 19.
Unfortunately, been a rough ride for the 19 since we put the broadcaster's curse on him. Fastest lap throughout the first half of this race in a very quick car, but after that incident earlier on, not the recovery has been slow.
And currently we're watching the onboard of Matt Morrison. He's really starting to close the gap right now between him and Sean Merriman now. He was sitting at a little, I believe, just over 3 seconds of a gap when Merriman took the lead, but now he's closed it to under 2 seconds. So he's starting to try to reel this thing back out here. He knows the time's ticking in terms of laps left, and he's got to start to try to reel Sean Merriman back.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you're Sean Merriman, you need to use this time to save tires because you're not going to be able to save them when Matt Morrison gets to you. It's going to be go time at that point. So if I'm the 18 car, I'm doing what I can to keep some sort of temperature in my tires, or I guess lack thereof, and just keep some sort of grip.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. We'll see what he can do out here. He's got about 35 laps left to fend the rest of these guys off out here if he wants to win. Sean Merriman currently sitting in, I believe, 14th place in the point standings right now, so a win would be pretty beneficial for him here. It would definitely help him in the point standings. He's sitting at 129 points on the season.
Yeah, and Christopher McCullough just keeps taking off time. He's cut off about half of what that lead was when we last mentioned it, down to about 4 seconds. And, I mean, if he can get by Aiden Stevens and Dawson Price in a timely fashion, I think he's got a real shot at this thing, no doubt.
We'll see what he can do here. He's got quite the blockade in front of him right now. The number 5 of Nathan Swafford, some lap traffic, also not really wanting to back down much. He's going to have to try to meander his way through this traffic before he's going to have his shot at passing either Aiden Stevens or Dawson Price. It's gotten almost completely dark out here, Kevin, but the track temp has just gotten hotter. It's up to 80 degrees now, so it's just gotten warmer. These worn tires are going to get even warmer, and it's going to get even slicker.
Yeah, and McCullough able to make it cleanly around Stevens, now working on Dawson Price.
Oh no, he has passed him, Kevin. I think he might be just a little bit
Oh,
behind.
yep, you're right.
Yep, he's a little behind. He is up into 3rd place now.
Is indeed a little bit behind.
And another thing he might be a little behind on is Matt Morrison. He has closed the gap, and he is just now closing up on just a second off of Sean Merriman.
Yeah, and you gotta wonder, Luke, you know, is Matt Morrison just faster, or is it a matter of Matt Morrison kind of giving it his all, whereas Sean Merriman kind of, being easy on the tires, knowing that he's got another 32 laps left in this thing.
You know, it's tough to say, so we're going to go and watch here an onboard for maybe a lap or two. We've been seeing a couple laps here by Sean Merriman. We know he likes to run it. Honestly, right on the money here of what we're watching from Matt Morrison. We're running very, very similar laps, but Matt Morrison just able to put up a better time. He last just put up a 30.46. Sean Merriman putting up a 30.57. So some very close lap times, but the last couple laps, Kevin, Morrison's just been able to do it. But in goes Sean Merriman.
Oh, wow.
In the pits goes Sean Merriman. And now Aiden Stevens goes in as well, and so does Nolan Gross. And now that's going to leave the lead to Matt Morrison and Christopher McCullough looking at the outside, and we are under caution.
Oh, no.
I'm reading Travis Farmer. What do we got, Kevin? What's the...
I'm looking for it. I'm also
reading
it's Travis Farmer as well as Jaden Knight.
Man, and an unfortunate time for a caution right there. Literally couldn't have timed it any worse. Oh, yeah, and that was a hard hit there. For both the 09 and I believe the 69. And, you know, you can kind of chalk that up that whatever you choose to believe there. We'll watch it back one more time out of the exit. Slow-mo here for you.
Yeah, I think this is going to work out, honestly, for Sean Merriman. He stayed on the lead lap, and he got his pit done.
And, you know, definitely unfortunate for those involved, but fortunate for some others, I think, out here is Matt Morrison sits comfortably in the lead right now. Christopher McCullough on his outside. Let's go and take a look at the battle box out here and see when these guys all last pit. Oh man, we see you know, we'll take a look at it here later as we are seeing the whole front bunch here making their way into pit road. We see some back there near the back with damage. We see a lot without it. And we see a vast majority of your field, Kevin, here. At least 3/4 of the drivers making their way into pit road. And a pit this late really shakes up this race, Kevin. It really mixes up these strategies for these guys who maybe were planning for a long green flag run, or maybe some drivers that weren't planning for one. It's going to really shake up these strategies out here. Let's see who comes out here on top. But it's going to leave the lead here to Richard Elliott, and Sean Merriman sitting in second with Matt Morrison sitting in third place.
Yeah, and I'd say there's no doubt that the 04 Christopher McCullough kind of wanted that one to stay green. I think if that does stay green, nothing happens to him, that it's kind of, no question, his race. But we saw Sean Merriman come into pit right there, you know, perfect timing, by the way. I don't think it gets much better than that. And now this race kind of puts everyone on an even playing field in terms of tires, I do believe, as far as that top 5 goes, aside from Richard Elliott.
Yeah, we'll wait till they cross the line here and these lap cars get away from him to confirm, but that definitely sounds right. I see lap 92, 110. I see some that are, yeah. And your top bunch, it looks like it's all around the 97, 92, 110, 112, 104. Yeah. So that definitely makes it a lot easier on the tires for a lot of these guys. It catches a lot of the guys up that maybe weren't on the freshest of tires. And I believe we're going to be looking at a 2-file wide restart again, Kevin. The officials have elected to have another 2-wide restart after they've seen some clean race.
Yeah, and the 002 of Richard Elliott here staying out. We saw him come in late to pit on that green flag cycle with the kind of the late group, and he's opting that he does not need another set. Got about 10 laps down on his tires, I guess, 10, 20 laps. So the 002 is going to be on the restart here when we go green.
Yeah, he's definitely on the weaker tires, if you could say that, but it's definitely going to make this thing interesting, no doubt, as we are under the 30 lap to go mark. And it's going to be what is that? Yeah, 25 laps to go here when we go green out here, as the pace car is going to make its way in, and Richard Elliott's going to have his first shot at a restart out here tonight. Through the restart zone in green, 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 we're racing once again. And a good jump on the restart there for Richard Elliott, but Sean Merriman looking at his bumper quick and looking for the pass. We already see a 3-wide scenario going on just behind that bunch.
Yeah, these guys are wasting
Ooh, getting into the wall a little bit.
Zero time.
I believe that is the 07 of Cooper Liardi.
Oh, and that's the caution.
Still 3 wide, and I'm not sure where we see it.
Ooh,
I'm reading Travis Farmer
and
again.
John Marino.
Ooh, yep.
Hard contact.
Back into P14. That looks like it happened in the back straight away, and unfortunate. We're going to go back and look at that one once again. Oh, man. It involves the 74, the 09, and the 23. Oh, what's your 2 cents on it, Kevin?
I mean, I guess technically the hole was there when the 74 tried to shoot for it. I personally wouldn't have gone for that. I think the 74 was outpacing them by a pretty good amount, at least through that turn. So I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't have shot that hole because if he does make it, we're going 4 wide down the backstretch with the 5 there on the inside. So
definitely a dangerous spot to be in, no doubt. But unfortunately, that's going to end the race here for Travis Farmer, as I'm getting a read that he has issued a meatball, Kevin, and that's unfortunately going to do it for him. And Richard Elliott going to make the best of the opportunity to go in and take his pit and likely get another fresh set of tires. We are officially under the 25 to go out here, and it's going to switch our display over there to the top 20. I believe we are currently looking at either 13 or about 15 drivers still on the lead lap out here. Sitting in an interesting position now is going to be Richard Elliott. He elected to take the pit now, and it's going to sit him back in P13. He's got some spots to make up, and he's still got a decent amount of laps to do it, but he's going to have to be heavy on that gas pedal to make up those positions. I believe we are going to... I don't know. I think we're going to probably see another 2-wide restart. We'll know here in just a second.
Well, the guys up towards the front seem to think so.
Sure looks like it. We're going to see a 2-wide restart out here as the lights are off the pace car. We're going to get ready to go green out here once again. And this restart is going to be Sean Merriman, who has the experience on the restarts tonight, with Christopher McCullough on his door. Got a nice mix of cars up here in your top bunch, sitting in your top 10. We got a mix of Chevys, Fords, and Toyotas. We got a good mix of everything out here, but sitting 15 drivers on the lead lap out here still. Sun is set and the lights are on at the track. Track temp has cooled down drastically. We are down to a 73-degree track temp now. So the temp has dropped. It is dropping now, and we're going to get ready to go green once again, and we're going to see if that has any effect out here in this thing.
Sean Merriman and Christopher McCullough front row.
Through the restart,
And
green.
Green.
Racing once
good
again.
Restart there for the 18 as well as the 6 of Matt Morrison. Able to push each other through the turns.
And no doubt we're going to see some tight racing up here in the front for this. They're going to be fighting hard for this lead if I had to take a guess, Kevin. But apart from the fight going on in the front, we are seeing 3 wide down the back straightaway right now around Kenny McCullough. Or sorry, not Kenny McCullough. That's around John Marino and Nolan Gross.
Ooh, and a little bit of contact between Morrison and Christopher McCullough for P2. And this type of battle is exactly what the 18 wants to see.
Absolutely, and just wanted to see them slow each other up in his mirror, and oh my god! We're seeing some wrecking going across the straightaway. Oh shit! There's cars everywhere in the back straightaway.
Oh man, they are wrecking hard.
Oh man, Kevin, and we got drivers with missing front bumpers. I'm seeing meatball flags everywhere. Cars are crab driving, and I say it, I think we've seen the big one out here tonight in Charlotte. The big one comes with 20 laps to go out here, as we're going to have to go back and watch that, as I'm currently getting a read of Heath Job, Danny Barnes, Hunter Azell, and Connor Price all now with meatball flags.
Yeah, and I'm hearing that once this is all sorted through, we're going to have to go back and see Nolan Gross's cockpit view for a, quote, McQueen-type moment.
McQueen-type moment. Okay, let's see if we can break this down a little bit here before we watch the McQueen moment. And I believe it happens up here around the number 7. Oh, and I think a little bit of contact between him and the 29. Yeah, a little bit of contact between the number 7 and the 29. That's Nicholas Warner, unfortunately going to get Danny Barnes just a little loose. Oh, man, going to collect him into the 99, and Heath Job both go up into the wall. Oh, man.
Another hard shot there for Job and Barnes. And at this point, a car sideways in the middle of the track on exit.
Oh,
obviously more things are to come.
The 19 and the 28 trying to avoid it, collect together, and oh, man. And that's Hunter Azell. We know he's sitting with a meatball flag. Just nowhere to go. Man, that was an unfortunate one. And who are we going back to watch here for the McQueen-style save?
Nolan Gross.
Nolan Gross, okay. All right, we are getting claims of a McQueen-type save here, so we'll see this here. Nolan Gross. They keep on coming. They keep on coming. Getting another request to go back and watch Aiden Stevens. Yeah, let's see what he's got.
Okay, I'll let you know on how much time you got. The light is still on the pace car. Aiden Stevens able to swoop low right where it started. Right, we saw Danny Barnes in the pink car get loose.
And the catastrophe strikes behind him. And unfortunate, like we were saying, and that's going to unfortunately bring a lot more drivers to the end of their night. And it's going to leave us with 14 drivers on the lead lap still. We saw one get a wave around out here, and I believe it's going to be John Marino. Light's going to come off the pace car, and we're going to see another 2-wide restart out here with 18 laps to go. It's going to be 17 when we go green. We're going to get ready to get this thing going. Maybe for the last time out here. You never know. We saw the big one out here. They're going to get ready to get this thing underway once again.
Pace car is in. We're ready to go racing. Sean Merriman on yet another restart out here. Green, green, green.
Off we go once again. Sean Merriman with once again another good restart, and the battle for second place begins almost immediately between Matt Morrison and Christopher McCullough.
Absolutely, Christopher McCullough trying to hold the outside and able to.
And you know, that's exactly, like we said, what you want to see up there if you're Sean Merriman. But the battle seems to have come to an end out there, and Christopher McCullough has come out on top, and he is now chasing down Sean Merriman.
Absolutely, and now Matt Morrison has some problems of his own in regards to Dawson Price, who's made it up into a top 3 spot and battling.
And he's looking at his outside right now of the number 6, and how about it? Christopher McCullough with his nose on the inside going down the back straightaway. He's going to have it going into turn 3. And we are maybe seeing a leadership change here going to the green flag, but we are back under caution, Kevin, and I'm getting a read that Nolan Gross has Lightning McQueened his way off the track. And we'll go back and take a look.
Flag for James Hudson, who I'm not seeing a front bumper on.
No, I'm not either, and we'll go back and take a look at what happened. We were just talking about Nolan Gross earlier with a good save through the contact, and I'm judging off of what you just made that sound off of. I don't think you're looking at anything good. Oh, man. Getting into it with Richard Elliott there, and
That's where my reaction came in.
Number 2. Oh, man, James
2 on
Hudson,
2 crime.
unfortunately, comes in fucking hard. And I believe that's going to knock his whole front left off out of alignment there. Let's go back and take a look at that. We're going to look at his front left suspension, because I'm pretty sure that knocked his front left wheel out of alignment. Oh, and yes, it did. Yes, it did.
Oh, well,
it kind of popped itself back into play, but I'm no mechanical expert, but I don't think that's how that works. But, you know, either way, the officials are going to issue him a meatball flag there, and unfortunate for him, he's going to have to make his way in. And that's going to do it for his race. Seeing a lot of drivers making it into the pits right now, and a lot of drivers making up positions from that. Kenny McCullough, one making his way through. We're going to be sitting at, I believe, 12 to go here when we cross the flag and go green once again. You know, we're inching closer and closer to that over-under thing you said earlier, Kevin. Are you still sitting firm on your over on that?
I like the under.
Like the under? Okay. I got faith in the guys. I'm with you on that one. A lot of the guys catching up right now. A lot of the guys on possibly some fresher tires now, Kevin. We saw a good number going into the pits this past cycle. Don't know if... I know a good number of it was likely related due to damage, but I know probably a couple of the guys back there that weren't might have elected to throw on some new tires.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd say even the guys with the damage, probably, if they had a set of tires, threw it on, because if all things, you know, go according to plan, I don't think these guys want to be back into the pits after this lap. I mean, track position, I'd say, is more king here at this point than getting fresh tires, assuming it cycle you back that 12, 13 spots.
Well, to see what it's going to look like here and what it's going to boil down to is it's going to be 12 to go here when we go green. Sean Merriman's going to be looking to defend his lead here, as I do believe, and I think it's safe to say, he's led the most laps out here in this thing.
Yeah, absolutely, no doubt about that. But I also think Christopher McCullough has led a lot of laps out here. He ran that alternate strategy earlier on, and we saw a lot of Christopher McCullough.
Two not to count out of it. Matt Morrison and Dawson Price. They've looked very comfortable fighting in the row back position back there, and they're definitely hungry for it too. I mean, Dawson Price sitting comfortably in the point standing position right now in this season standing. So he's definitely not a driver to forget about out here. But we definitely got a competitive front group, and the pace car is going to make its way in here, and we're going to go green once again. Sean Merriman going through the restart zone. He's going to have the jump, and here he goes. Not quite going to clear high. I think he's got it, and yes, he does. He's going to go clear high. Get a little bit better of an entrance there for turn 1 and 2, but Christopher McCullough hot on his heels, Kevin. He wants the lead. And we see a big battle going on right now for third place.
Yeah, and a great restart, I'd say, for the 04 there. We saw it really, pan out better that time. He didn't have to worry about Matt Morrison immediately, but he does now, as the 6 car of Morrison has found some speed and gotten straight to the bumper of the 04.
And that he has. The 04 looking at his outside. He's got the 6 giving him some draft on Matt Morrison. Both looking at that. As we know,
under caution again.
That we are. And I'm getting read that Nolan Gross is involved, and he is stopped up on that high line. And he's involved with Kenny McCullough, who is totaled right now, Kevin.
Oh, and it starts with McCullough.
All right, let's go back and take a look at what we got here.
I think it starts with McCullough and Kean Fry.
Watching the overhead here of Kenny McCullough, they're 3 wide, barely going into turn 1. Oh, man. Oh.
And then...
Oh, my God. Holy hell, and a hard hit there.
A sequence of hard hits there for the 03.
Yeah.
Who was running a great race.
And, we'll go back here at the time of the contact, so... Watching the onboard here of Nolan Gross. Contact's happening in front of him. I'm assuming he doesn't even see it. Yeah, he doesn't see it. Sees the smoke, starts to brake. And, I mean, you're committed to your line at that point in the turn. You really can't brake enough to avoid that, unfortunately. And leads to an unfortunate end of the night there for Kenny McCullough, who's going to have his night cut short, along with a lot of the other drivers out here. He was, that's going to be a tough hit for him. He's sitting second in the position standings right now on the season, so not getting a finish out here, that's going to hurt a little worse for him.
Yeah, and we're seeing a handful of pits here. I see Cooper Layardi, Kean Fry, John Marino, Nathan Swafford all coming in.
And this late into the race, Kevin, I don't think it was those pits are going to be off too much choice, to be honest. Doing a decent deal of pacing out here, but we're still sitting under the caution line you said earlier, Kevin, and I still got faith in these guys. Light's going to come off the pace car this next time. I believe we're going to be looking at 7 laps to go when we go green. Hey, would you like to bring Kenny in?
Oh, Luke, to be completely frank with you, Kenny doesn't sound very happy in voice chat.
Gotcha. Maybe we'll leave, maybe we'll leave him to hash it out with the other drivers.
I
But
wouldn't, however, be opposed. Well, the light just went off.
we'll get him. We'll bring him in next caution, as we've been saying
Yeah.
all race. We're gonna look at another 2-wide restart out here, and well said in the chat there. Yeah, cautions bring cautions. They kind of seem to pour after they start out here, and I can only hope we get a clean run out here to finish this thing off. So they're gonna go around one more time before we get this thing going once again.
Getting ready to go green here for what could very well be the last time. It's going to be 7 laps to go when we go green. Sean Merriman on another restart. Christopher McCullough once again on his outside. Not much has changed within the front 4 throughout the past handful of laps.
Pace car coming in one more time, maybe for the last time tonight. Sean Merriman going to have another jump.
Green flag is out, and it's a great start here for Christopher McCullough, as he is side by side, if not leading right now. And also a great start for Matt Morrison. It seems like it's not the best of starts for Sean Merriman. And they do touch. And how about the 6 car making it 3 wide now?
Oh, man, Matt Morrison looking low. And we got a 3-wide shot coming through turns 3 and 4. Oh, getting up into the walls, the 18! Sean Merriman! Oh, no!
Oh!
Oh,
a hard lick
dear
for Christopher
Lord.
McCullough.
Oh, no. And, Kevin, I'm seeing 2 more meatballs. Oh, no. Both John Marino and Christopher McCullough. That's 2 McCulloughs done. And an unfortunate incident there as well for Sean Merriman, who is heavily involved in that.
Yeah, and he was having a great race here. Holding the lead. And it flipped on its head. Just like that.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, it was... It's a tough battle here going through that exit there. I mean, it's a tight track as is, and going out of the exit of turn 4, that's got to be one of the tougher turns to be going through here. We see the 6 kind of shift up into the 18 and just gets up into the 04. I mean, that's
ran out of real estate.
I was about to say, in my opinion, that's a racing incident there in a 3-wide scenario, and they get heavily involved in there, unfortunately, and we know the 04 takes an additional hit here at the end, and 2 big hits there additionally at the end. Holy shit. Dear Lord, and yeah, a very hard incident there, and it's gonna lead to a couple more race-ending meatball flags out there before we barely got the chance to stay green. And you know, we're creeping closer, Kevin. We're creeping closer. And correct me if I'm wrong, I believe we have 3 green-white checkered attempts on the night, right?
I believe so.
Okay. Lights off the pace car, Kevin, and I believe we're going to see another 2-wide restart. I think they're going to kind of finish out that fashion throughout this thing, no matter how it ends.
Yeah, absolutely, and I wouldn't want it any other way here. Now, we've seen all evening Sean Merriman very dominant on these restarts until right there on that last one, and it kind of made his bed. Is Matt Morrison going to be able to dominate this restart? And if not, how's he able to defend? How's he able to defend the 74 of Aiden Stevens?
And unfortunately, after that incident, it's going to settle him well back within the field. Maybe not. I don't know how many positions it's going to let him make up here. Sean Merriman making his way through the field and figuring out where it's going to make him settle. I believe it is, what is that? 6th row back on the inside, and definitely a very unfortunate event that happened there for him. But he's still in this thing. You know, can't be said the same for some of the other drivers there involved in that. Chris Cullo and John Marino, we know they got heavily involved. But the story now shifts to Matt Morrison and Aiden Stevens, who are going to have their chance to duke it out up here at the front. Nicholas Warner and Dawson Price going to be looking at their bumpers at the lead of the second line. Pace car is making its way in, maybe going green for the last time. We said it the last time, but we'll see. Here we go once again. Through the restart zone, Matt Morrison with the jump, and it looks like it's going to be a good one for him, and it's going to be 3 laps to go out here. A standard end to the race out here if it stays green.
Yeah, and Aiden Stevens just immediately going to cover that bottom there. See if he can get some speed out of that.
Looking at the inside now is Aiden Stevens.
Yeah, running a much lower line here than Matt Morrison. Just 2 to go this time by. Does he have anything for him? Does Dawson Price sitting in 3rd have anything for him? The high line is being ran.
Oh! Get up into the wall a little bit as Matt Morrison.
And into the
wall.
wall.
So some of the other drivers back there.
And that's going to shake things up. They're side by side now for the lead.
Oh, man, the 74 is looking at the inside, and he's going to have it going through 3 and 4.
Wrapping the outside is going to be Matt Morrison.
Into the wall again.
Hard.
And now
Dawson
the 54
Price
is there.
Huge run.
White flag. Here we go. One more to go. Oh, shit. And the 29's looking at the inside.
29.
Matt Morrison's still into it on the lead. They're stacking up 3 wide behind him going through the exit. They fan it back out, throw it to the back straight away, and it's hell out here, Kevin. It's hell for the last lap. Nicholas Warner making a pass. He's up into 2nd, but I think Matt Morrison is just going to walk this one home.
Absolutely.
And he gets the win.
A great win here for the 6 car of Matt Morrison, able to hold off the field.
And what a win. Some crazy events transpire at the end there, but Matt Morrison able to come out on top and get the win. I mean, we'll have to go back and watch it, but that was a crazy transfer there by Nicholas Warner on the last lap.
Back. Yeah, it looks like...
Man.
Yeah.
Scary. Scary nonetheless.
Pinched.
Absolutely, and it was a very scary last lap there, no doubt. But overall, though, we saw a very nice last lap out there and a solid win there for Matt Morrison, who's no doubt going to make his way out in front and start to burn it down. We'll begin to get the interview portion of our broadcast ready and get that transfer segment ready. I believe our first interview on the night is probably going to be Aiden Stevens if we can get a radio read on him here. Yep, and we have our top 3 over there. We'll go ahead and grab them whenever you are ready, Kevin.
Hey, Aiden, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Hey, man, what a race that was. We saw kind of the start of that race, a lot of cautions, and we saw a real long green flag, and then it seemed like towards the end, the cautions kind of happened again. I know we saw kind of almost a gridlock sort of situation throughout the past 20 laps of that one with Merriman and McCullough on the front row there. And then once that incident happened, it seemed like, it was kind of a question mark as to what was going to happen there. And then you were able to kind of take control there and get yourself a podium finish on that last restart. You want to talk us through that last restart?
Well, just glad I avoided that wreck before that. That put me into the top four, top five. Coming off the restart, I knew I had to get a jump on the 54 and the 29. They were both pretty fast up there because I wanted to stay behind the six, see if I couldn't make a move. And then coming to the white flag, or I think on the white flag lap, I kind of got maybe left a little bit too much of a lane, or I know we both got tight in the turn one. The 29 kind of capitalized and kind of put his nose a little too much down there, and then just kind of ended up third, just trying to save what I could without wrecking myself.
Yeah, and it was a great finish, able to get a podium out of it. And it seemed like the race kind of was kind of the story of two races. And we saw, I'm trying to get a read here. We saw only 12 cars finish on the lead lap. How were you able to keep your car clean throughout all 140 laps to be able to even be in the position you were in?
Some of it was just luck. There were some times, like when they were wrecking under caution, I should have got T-boned by the 99. I don't know how I didn't. And then when Jacob's wheel disconnected, he shot up the track. I was a little bit ahead. I would have got smoked. And then the rest of it was just mainly staying up front. There wasn't a whole lot of action up front other than the one or two wrecks that we seen up there, and just kind of minded my own business and worked my way up.
Absolutely. Well, a great finish to your night tonight here, Aiden. Able to get a podium finish. Thanks for the interview. And anyone like to shout out before we get you out of here?
My teammates, Henry and Gavin downstairs watching. Henry had a rough race. Uh, yeah, that's about it.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate it and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thanks. That was Aiden Stevens able to get third out here on the evening, Luke. And next interview I want to bring in is going to be Nicholas Warner, who was able to capitalize more than anybody on that last restart.
Yeah.
Hey, Nicholas, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Hey, man, what a race that was. I know we saw, a lot of cautions throughout the course of it, and we saw a lot of damage on a lot of these cars out here. I want to talk about that one of the last cautions where we saw Sean Merriman and Christopher McCullough both get involved in it, and it kind of sets you up in a position to, go out there and get yourself, in a front row sort of position. And, we saw the battle between the 54 and the 74, and you were able to capitalize on it. You want to talk us through what you saw kind of on those last couple laps?
Yeah, the last one there where they came off, I think it was turn four. I haven't seen the replay yet, but up there the leaders are fighting for it. I think they were four wide at one point and just got kind of lucky and went to the bottom and was able to sneak through there. And then I think it was the last restart. Yeah, everybody was kind of fighting hard and six checked out and we got stacked up and just found a way to keep on the track. So all in all, a good night for SLF and happy to get a top five finally.
Absolutely, a great race for you. And I gotta say, next week we're going to one of my favorite tracks, Indianapolis. How do you feel about your odds there at Indy?
Indy's a lot of fun. It's really obviously it's kind of a flatter track. It's not really made for these cars, and you really got to maximize the front and back straightaways, and it drives good there though. So I'm excited to get out there and see what we can do.
Absolutely, well, we appreciate it, Nicholas, and congratulations on the podium finish out here. Anyone like to shout out before we get you out of here?
Yeah, just my spotter Blaze for sticking around, hanging out after he got wrecked out. So really appreciate that. Sly Little Fox Racing for all they do, and you guys in the booth and the league for putting us on for us.
Absolutely, we appreciate it, and congratulations, Nicholas.
Thank you.
That was Nicholas Warner able to get a top two second place finish out of this one. And last interview of the evening I want to get in here is going to be your race winner, Matt Morrison, who had a very strong race all evening. Hey, Matt, guys in the booth, you got a copy?
I got you guys.
Hey, man, what a race that was. I know all evening we were kind of talking about how the domination on the restarts is kind of what's been the key here. And we saw, Sean kind of not get the best restart there with, just a handful of laps to go. And him and Christopher got into it because of, what I would consider, the move of the evening, going to the bottom there and making it work. And, once that happened, did you kind of feel like what you've seen from the restarts, you had it in you, or was it still anybody's race after that?
I think being starting it off, I think is obviously the best spot to be, right? I mean, you get to control it, you get to go. When I was sitting in third, I just could not get it. I got good starts, but the guys on the outside would just slingshot by me. And I thought I was in a really good spot when I started fourth, and I got up to the back bumper of those guys, and then another caution came out, and yeah, that restart there, I don't know. I don't think he did anything different. But yeah, no. Christopher got a good start as well. They went side by side through one. It slowed him down enough. I had a good run, and I mean, I'm gonna send it, right. Like, you can't just sit back and take it. So yeah, I went in turn 3 there. It stuck, but it didn't stick towards the end, and I Spotter wasn't calling out bottom of 3. He was calling out too wide, so I squeezed him in the fence a little bit too hard. But yeah, and then that final restart, yeah, I almost gave it away though. Honestly, there was, I think the last 2 laps there, I went into turn 1 and the thing did not stick at all. So I almost threw that one away completely.
Yeah, absolutely. I was gonna kind of ask about that. We saw you go up all the way to the wall there. I don't know if it was 2 to go or white flag. Able to make it stick and cover that outside. Do you think the momentum that the outside can carry on the exit is just that dominant that even if you get contact with a wall, it's too hard to clear on the inside?
Yeah, it's, the momentum is everything, especially with these cars. The bottom, I had trouble running the bottom all night, to be honest. But when the sun went down, it got a lot better. During the early part of the race, I could not stick the bottom and keep the speed up. I lose so much speed on exit, and even then, still, it was hard to keep the pace on the bottom. You could stick it in pretty good. Like, you can enter a lot better, but you could not exit the way they could on the top. And like I said, yeah, I mean, I screwed up, and
Yeah, great finish though, Matt, and able to get it done here and get the win at Charlotte. Looking forward, we're going to Indy, and I talked to Aiden about, or I talked to Nick about his odds at Indy, and he said, kind of a flat track, kind of not what we're used to out here. How do you feel about your odds going into Indy?
I think we might have lost him, Kevin.
Yeah, well, I was really hoping it wasn't me,
Yeah, me too.
but
It appears maybe some maybe some network difficulties there for your race winner of Matt Morrison. But either way, he's going to go off and probably celebrate this one. Give him a couple more seconds here, see if we can get him to come back.
yeah, absolutely. Drag him around and see if this helps. Hey, Matt, can you hear me?
I think that is safe to say that we have lost him here on the evening, Kevin. I think he is off to celebrate a little early, I do.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe blew his engine on the burnouts and lost all communication somehow.
You never know. You never know. Maybe he just took off the helmet early or something.
Yeah, yeah. We'll
Very
stick with
well.
that. I like that.
Very
But
well could
regardless,
be.
congratulations to Matt Morrison on getting the win out here tonight. And hopefully we can talk to him again soon because for the most part, that's always a good thing for these drivers when they get an interview,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
especially after the race. But congratulations to Matt Morrison on the win out here. And Luke, I think we're about at that point in the evening where it's wrapping it up. Huge thanks to Skid Row Motorsports and the guys over there for helping us out and getting us going here tonight at Charlotte, one of my favorite tracks. Huge thanks to the drivers for not disappointing because this was, one of the best races once again of the season. I keep saying that, and it keeps getting better and better. I think we're going to have a great race in Indy, Luke, and huge thanks to Omar, Logan, all the guys at WWSS that help us put this on, make this possible. And you got anything else for us?
I think you about covered all grounds, Kevin. We'll see you all in the next one, race fans. Good night, everybody.
Peace.